Why do I keep buying stuff I don't need? Let's talk about it.
So today I kind of want to talk about something that I feel a lot of us deal with or experience, and that is overbuying. So when you get that feeling of it being excited about something new and you just kind of want to treat yourself, and kind of before you know it, you have overbought. You have bought too much, more than you would say that you need. So yeah, same. I've been there. I know how it feels. And I just kind of been thinking, why do we do this? Habits, the feelings behind it, and how it kind of connects to things like thrifting, minimalism, and conscious consumerism. So I know this is a little bit different than my usual reselling videos, but I hope you'll stick with me because I think it's a conversation worth having. So let's just jump right in. So what exactly does it mean to overbuy? So it basically just means buying more than what we actually need. So this could be clothing, shoes, accessories, even home decor, things that kind of just pile up and they just kind of sit there. So sometimes it's because we buy on impulse, because it could be a good deal. I know that I've had this happen to me where things have been on sale or they're cheap, and I'm like, I'm just gonna buy it because I might need it one day or I might need it in the future. But a lot of times I feel like it's deeper than this. I feel like overbuying sometimes can be to fill an emotional gap, like stress, boredom, or just wanting to feel happier or kind of in control. I know when I am dealing with a lot of stress, my first thing to do is go to Goodwill or go to the outlet. If you are new to my channel, I do enjoy thrifting and reselling as well. So I know that is a trigger point for me, is stress and anxiety. I also will find myself just scrolling on my phone and I will see like a cute jacket or a gadget and I will add it to the cart without really thinking twice. I do stop myself from buying. I have this rule where I have it in my cart for like 30 days, and that generally helps, but I would love to know, do you struggle with this? So why do we overbuy? There's actually some interesting psychological feelings behind it. And I think it's because shopping gives us a gratification. It gives us that instant dopamine hit. It's kind of like a feel-good feeling. And even though it's temporary, I know that social media as well plays a huge role in this. We see all over the internet, we see on TikTok and Instagram, even YouTube, that people are living their best lives, showing the latest trends, their perfect house, their coolest finds, and something in us makes us feel like we want to keep up. I don't know if it's FOMO or the fear of missing out. We kind of live in a world where the hustle culture is glorified, where that is, the ultimate goal is to work as hard as you can and keep acquiring things because that's the goal, right? Realizing that this has been realizing that these types of things have been kind of eye-opening. It helped me to kind of slow down and question what I'm buying instead of just doing it naturally, since that's what everyone else is doing. I would kind of pause and be like, do I really actually need this? And I know it's kind of a double-edged sword with thrifting, and I'll be the first to say I love thrifting, and I know a lot of you love thrifting too. It's a phenomenal way to find unique pieces, save money, and be more sustainable, and also kind of fuel into reselling. But here's the thing. I feel like thrifting can also feed overbuying if we are not careful. Because it is fun and exciting to find those treasures, sometimes we, like I was mentioning before, we grab things because it is cheap or it's cool and not necessarily like we need them. I've fallen into a trap of this more than once, and the key to being intentional and mindful when thrifting is asking ourselves, do we really need this? I also have started making a little list when I go out thrifting, if I'm looking for myself or just reselling in general. I will write a little thing on my notes, like what am I looking for, what's selling in my closet, what is missing from my closet, and will I actually get use out of those items that are on my wish list. So this is where minimalism and conscious consumerism kind of comes into play. I think minimalism isn't about having nothing or very small amounts of things, as we've seen on social media. Sometimes minimalism can be like that for some people, but for me personally, it's never been that kind of way. So it's about making space for things that truly matter. It's not about having the least amount of clothes or the least amount of furniture in your house. It's about having the things that actually bring you joy in your house and being able to, or in your wardrobe, to treasure them. Focusing on qualities like silk, cashmere, wool, good fabric content, the ethics, maybe doing research about the company, making sure that they are, a good company, and they have good ethics behind it. Maybe not so much as Shein and stuff like that. And the longevity of an item instead of quantity. So I know this is easier said than done, but sometimes when we go to the thrift store, maybe focusing on that wool sweater instead of like that polyester blend sweater. We know that wool will last a lot longer if we get that item instead of just that polyester. So when I started shifting my mindset here, this made a huge difference. I just want to talk a little bit about how this overbuying has kind of showed up in my own life. If you're new here, like I have referenced a little bit, I used to be a full-time reseller. And in the beginning, I kind of was buying anything and everything. And I was constantly sourcing. I was picking up basically anything that I thought that I could flip or sell. And at one point, I had over 1,600 active listings in my store, which is wild to me. It, at that point, kind of felt productive, even exciting. And after a lot of reflection, I started to ask myself, like, why am I consuming so many items? Why am I accumulating so much? Because I know there's this kind of reseller mentality where the more items you have, the more money you'll make, and the more you'll make more sales and things like that. But as I was asking these questions, I was also asking like how I was building my business, or was I just using it as kind of an excuse to overbuy? And I kind of definitely felt like I was at times. That mindset has shifted in a big way, and I will insert some clips for you guys just to kind of give you some context as to what I'm talking about. I'll show you a little bit of my inventory, how I've kind of been downsizing, and just really kind of focusing on less is more. I'm currently at under 900, and which for me personally is a huge accomplishment. And I know that I'm not perfect. I'm not making this video to show that I have it all together or show or make anyone feel like less than or judged or anything. I'm making this because I definitely have struggled with this in my life, and it's been not just only in reselling, it's been pretty much throughout my life. I've struggled with just overbuying. So with that, I'm definitely not perfect. I have slipped back into my old habits here and there, but I feel so much better, like emotionally and mentally, with less. I didn't realize how much stuff had an impact on how I felt emotionally. And it's not just about like decluttering, it's more about being intentional with what I buy and what I bring into my home, and kind of what I also put out into the world. And again, I just want to make a disclaimer that I don't have it all together. I'm still kind of figuring it out. I'm still a work in progress, but I am really trying to shift my gears or shift my content and bring light to this. I feel like these like conversations or these topics that we can have. I'm really excited about adding more commentary videos. I'll show some little reacting videos as well. So I have a lot of fun ideas that I'm wanting to kind of experiment with. So I'm just grateful for you being here, and I'm just thankful for the support. And yeah, I'm excited to talk more about these things. And I would love to know down below, whether you're a reseller or not, let me know if you've had any of these struggles. I know that the world we live in is so interesting sometimes, because it really, companies really capitalize and they understand what makes like somebody want to buy something. They have that scarcity mindset, they have sales, they have so many things that go into it. And, I feel like, it's definitely a real problem. So yeah, let me know down below. So here are some things that have helped me. I've mentioned a few of these in the video, but just keeping a wish list on my phone or in my notes, or you can, if you're not too tempted, you can keep it in your cart. And instead of buying it immediately, just wait. I have this rule where I like to wait 30 days, but maybe you like to wait a couple days, maybe even a week. And if you really want it, then yeah, definitely make that purchase. But just giving yourself just a little bit of time to make that decision. I also try to set limits for myself, like no new clothes for a week, or I'm sorry, no new clothes for a month is a big one for me. As being a reseller, it's easy to just pick up things that I see at the thrift store for myself. But I try to make a point, only transitional pieces. But yeah, I try to tell myself no new clothes or only one thrift trip a week. I have, started slowing down with reselling because I noticed that I was starting to have a lot of these issues with these. So maybe I will tell myself that I won't buy any new clothes for myself for that month, or I'll only do one thrift trip for that week. And this has helped me a lot with overbuying. Also, just being aware of the emotional reasons behind why I've been buying. I'm not perfect. I just slipped up a couple days ago, being stressful because I was supposed to get a part-time job, but it didn't really end up working out. And I found myself at the thrift store. So I'm not perfect at this, but I think the biggest thing is just being aware of kind of what's going on, and that has kind of made all the difference. Do you struggle with overbuying? What kind of triggers you? Have you found any tricks that help you with shopping more consciously? I would love to know. I would love if you dropped a comment so we could have a little chit chat. Maybe we can help each other out. But thanks so much for watching this video. I know it's a little bit different, and sticking with me to explore this new type of content that I am so excited to introduce on my channel. So remember, I just want you to know that it's okay to change, to grow, and find out what's best for you. As people, that's just a natural thing. We are supposed to grow and change. And yeah, I'm just so excited about this journey, and I hope you are as well, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. I should have a new video next week for you guys. All right, thanks so much. See you guys. Bye.